The developer of Fortnite, Epic Games, has a flair for the dramatic and likes to stroke intrigue from their player base using hints and Easter eggs sprinkled throughout the game world. These clues are usually meaningful and have been used to tease or give a glimpse of the arrival of new content or upcoming seasons. All manner of tricks and gimmicks have been used to promote the game through unconventional methods. Hidden messages, real-world loot pinatas, and mysterious arrivals of new characters, just to name a few. These mysteries are talked about and debated among the player base. If you're only playing Fortnite with the intention of achieving a victory royale, you're missing out on a lot of enjoyable content. The game world is positively full of secrets to discover for any player who's able to suppress their bloodlust for a moment to smell the proverbial flowers. Let's take a look at some of the mysteries that are yet unsolved. Number 9. Dinosaurs. Before the beginning of Fortnite's 5th season, a large skeleton strewn out all along the ground in the moisty mire appeared. This huge mass of bones on the ground could have only belonged to one thing, a dinosaur. In addition, following shortly after a meteor shower, a large footprint was discovered very near Snobby Shores. The footprint is directly on top of where a house used to stand, meaning that the huge dino that made this hole was large enough to completely flatten a house. Now this is intriguing. What could the existence of this print mean? One thing it does provide is some additional insight on Fortnite's developing storyline, which was recently updated to confirm the existence of time travel. Some rumbling of the continued existence of dinosaurs in the world of Fortnite was already in place. Specifically, there have been clues like terrible lizards that are present somewhere in this universe. With the current information that we have, it's hard to tell exactly why these hints are being dropped. It feels obvious that it's leading to something dinosaur related being added to the game later, but without any other clues that give us a more complete idea, your guess is as good as mine on the specifics of what this mystery means. Number 8. Rockets, Rifts, and Villains. Oh my. Fortnite mysteries feed into and off of each other. This story has to do with the Visitor and the rocket he launched that brought Season 4 to a close. Let's ask the most obvious question. Why did he do it? There are multiple factors at play, but his motives are currently a mystery. Currently, this serves the game well, as the update involving the rocket spiced up the existing map and kept excitement over the game rolling. We are only left to wonder over the lore implications of the Visitor's trigger-happy arrival. Number 7. Television Signals. In the days leading up to its end, in-game television sets started behaving abnormally. These televisions were broadcasting some sort of emergency signal, complete with a Loot Pinata. The visual effect got players' attention, but the rabbit hole went even deeper. Anyone who listened closely to the sound the TVs were emitting may have recognized the beeping audio as more Morse code. Some players took it upon themselves to translate the encoded message. In proper spooky fashion, the dots and dashes spelled out, "They don't want us to K." This is ominous, as it implies that someone out there is trying to let us in on a terrible secret. We can't be for sure what the last word is, and it's intentionally, I'm sure, unclear. Based off context clues and a healthy dose of speculation by the community, the player base is largely assuming that the final word is no. But what don't they want us to know?
Number 6. What's the deal with the storm? Anyone who's played Fortnite is familiar with the formation and movement of the storm. This is a central gameplay mechanic that directs players to, after looting up and avoiding an early demise, move towards a common location on the map. The storm is the reason that Fortnite seems to have a little downtime in shoot-'em-up action. Players are forced to move towards each other. The reason that this gameplay mechanic is falling under questioning is because Fortnite always seems to have a story hidden somewhere within it. I'm sure communities of other games would brush off any lore implication behind a simple battle royale mechanic, but this is Fortnite. Something is usually going on in the world of Fortnite, so what are some ideas about what the storm could mean? The game world around is full of empty houses. Where are all the people? Could the absence of non-playable characters and the littering of the world with weapons and buffs be connected to the storm?
Number 5. Superheroes. If you're unaware, Fortnite's 4th season was awesome. That goes double for you if you're into themes like superpowers, time travel, and rockets, which I think almost everybody is. Those were the focuses of the season, and they brought with them their own brand of mystery. By progressing through the season, players were given new pieces of the story through loading screens. One such loading screen sparked a lot of discussion among the player base. Supervillain Kingpin Omega seeming to relax with a sworn enemy in Valor. Huh? What does this suggest? Is Omega actually a good guy? Is Valor secretly a villain? Are the two factions under control of a larger, secret entity and the fighting is all for a show? Something like this makes you question the allegiance of both Valor and Omega. The only thing clear here is that Epic Games wants us to be confused. Number 4. Greetings, Earthlings. Epic Games has gotten into some experimentation with spooky storylines rather than relying on only the simplistic Easter eggs. This is true in the addition of the character only known as the Visitor. If you're not familiar with the events of Fortnite's 4th season, here are a few applicable details. The events leading up to the end of the 4th season included a meteor shower that destroyed longtime location Dusty Depot. This is what brought the well-known hop rocks into existence that alter the mechanics of jumping. The intrigue deepened when it was discovered that the meteor had a secret at its core, an escape pod. The escape pod is how the Visitor comes to our world, traveling to us via an escape pod buried deep within a meteor. Rather than peaceful cooperation with the inhabitants of this new planet, the Visitor instead moves to the supervillain hideout. It's from here that he is part of the rocket launch that brought the 4th season of Fortnite to an end. So, we know the story of what the Visitor did, but the mystery is in this traveler's identity. Where did they come from? What are his or her goals? We don't know yet. It's likely that some other information on this will eventually surface, but all we can do for now is speculate. Number 3. Where does this hatch lead? Less disturbing than the previous phenomena, but no less mysterious to Fortnite players, is the unexplained hatch that has existed for several months near Wailing Woods. A sheet metal door covers a man-made hole in the ground. Moreover, this was something added to Fortnite's world just a few months ago, around the same time that Thanos was introduced to the game in May of 2018. This means the addition of the hatch was a deliberate addition by the developers. A hatch has been placed, and the player base has, of course, started to ask questions about why it's popped up. What could possibly be hidden in there? We're still not too sure, but despite Fortnite's widely destructible world, this hatch door cannot be destroyed, and the contents of the hatch cannot be plundered. A few players have managed to get inside, but that's only through using glitches and exploiting bugs within the game. As of now, it's clear that Epic doesn't want us to get in there just yet. They're hiding something from us, but why? Number 2. The SOS Signal. Okay, this is one of the spookier occurrences in all of Fortnite. It started off simply enough, some strange controller vibrations. Inevitably though, when this was talked about online, people found out that it wasn't an issue with their controller or their hardware. It was happening to a ton of other players too. There was nothing initially to explain this, and there were no effects in the game that would serve to make a controller vibrate. Players started to ask questions. Epic Games personally addressed the issue, calling it a bug. This was a sufficient enough answer for nearly all the player base, but not quite. One Reddit user was unsatisfied with the answer of the developer and tried to figure out what this was and if it was some sort of secret message. User Vigilance Fortress was able to decode the vibrations, and they were Morse code. Wow, something that even the developer confirmed to be a bug was actually a deliberate hint. But a hint for what? The message seemed to give some clues. The code began with an SOS, the International Morse Code sequence, to indicate a problem. Someone or something is calling for help in the world of Fortnite. The message followed with what appeared to be a location, DS. This is the area on the map that is home to Tilted Towers. The final part of the message was another number, 418. This was interpreted by most players as a date or time. Sure enough, in April of 2018, the foreshadowing of this message seemed to be a given meaning. A meteor shower impacted the area near Tilted Towers. But who put this message in the game? Was Epic truly unaware of the source of the vibration? Did someone else with information of the location on the map of an impending meteor shower act on their own and tip the player off? To this day, the truth of the issue is unknown and uncertain. Number 1. Save the world. From what exactly? Fortnite's single-player campaign is known as Save the World, where instead of mowing each other down with a scrounged weapon, players must instead work together to defeat a different threat. That simply can't be all the story information that is planned for release. We know that so far hints have been dropped about multiple extraterrestrial and time-warping threats. Who are they, and what don't they want us to know? Messages presented in Morse code, dinosaur footsteps, a quite possibly diabolical visitor who landed in a meteor shower. With all manner of life forms, it seems that events are intensifying. But to what end? Regardless of what all these different pieces of information may mean on their own, the combination of so much mystery stands to suggest that things are only gonna get weirder. Some huge story developments can't be far off, and Epic is content to hint and tease for now. The single-player variant of the game allows a great venue to continue weaving a story without worrying too much about upsetting the balance of multiplayer PvP games. Something big is coming, and we don't know what. Fortnite is damn fun, and Epic Games has gone above and beyond what is expected of most AAA studios in developing a rich and interesting story to accompany the good old-fashioned fun of actual gameplay. This is a title that's full of teasing and mystery to keep players interested not only in the action, but in the reasons behind the Battle Royale on the surface.